Hello everyone and welcome once again to MechWarrior Online, the Supersmacky Edition. Today I want to talk about the new mech pack that's going to be released by PGI, sort of. And you'll see in a bit why I want to talk about this. Okay, first of all, the mech pack. It's going to be the Assassin. It's a 40-ton medium, or as I like to call it, a light medium. It's the art for it. And looks okay. I don't see anything that just says to me, wow, that looks cool. But there you go. That's what it looks like. Um, okay. PGI continuing to go with the same mech pricing, the pack pricing. I think that's a little unfortunate. I think, like $20 standard pack, you really want to get people to go up to a collector pack and spend more money, you should knock that down. I think, honestly, $30. These hero add-ons, $10 each. If you really want people to do that, if you really want them to spend money, you need to do that. Somehow incentivize the pricing. Ultimate pack, $70, which is just the combination of the price of the collector pack and the hero add-on and the reinforcement pack. How is that incentivized? They say, wow, you get the collector pack this and the reinforcement pack this and the hero add-on this. Well, yeah, which is no different than if I just said, give me all that stuff. So, I they they need some lessons in capitalism and how to incentivize things. Early adopter rewards. Okay. Cockpit items, camo, decals, and currency. Currency's nice. Disturbing trend that we're moving away from modules. Reason it's disturbing to me, and I don't have a definite foundation for this, but the trend, why I think this is a disturbing indicator is because I think it shows that we're likely going to see a complete nerfing of the modules in the game, and to the point where it may make them virtually useless. And why that's really bad is because I don't think that when they do that, I think it's going to be sudden. There's not going to be a lot of lead up time to that happening. People are going to get caught off guard. It's going to make the crap ton of money that they've put into their modules, either real money or C-bills in game through grinding. It's going to make them useless, or they're just going to disappear. PGI is not going to return the C-bills or the GXP that you had to spend to get it. I have a fear that that's the direction they're going, and it's going to cause a veritable salt volcano to flow out of it. Long term, who knows? But I know I'm going to be a little upset. I don't even have that many modules, but if that's the way they go, anyway. Mech specs, honestly, don't necessarily see anything that just throws out to me. It is IS, so you have some variation in how you build this, but it's not going to be especially fast. It's going to be slower than the Cicada and slower than the Viper, even at its top speed. And I don't think you're going to be able to get that engine. Looking at the breakdown here, done my own work on it. I looked at Kanajashi's work on it. I don't think you're going to get that and still carry a respectable loadout. Yeah, it looks nice being able to put this big ass engine in there, but you aren't going to be able to do it. It just isn't going to happen. Especially once you put doubles and then you put Indo or Ferro fibers on it. I've got a couple of ECM variants. That's nice. The stock loadouts don't really really impress me. A lot of missiles, a lot of energy. It's going to be okay. But so yeah, there we go. It's a medium, which leads into the next part, and I'm going to switch into the game so we can discuss that. Okay, so welcome to the rant portion of this video. I'm going to try and keep it short. I've filmed this thing now like 3 times and I keep going off on a tirade, so I'm going to try and avoid that. But I'm in game and I'm in the store, and I'm doing this first to show you this. When we look at all the lights, we have 14 different lights. 13 if you discount the urban mech, which really the urban mech is just kind of a joke. I know people love it, have fun in it, have good matches in it, whatever. But it really was just introduced just kind of as a joke because it was kind of a running gag in the community at one point. So there we go. Let's call it 14 just to show some love to the Irby. 19 mediums, 19 heavies, 17 assaults, 14 lights, 19 mediums, 19 heavies, 17 assaults, and 14 lights. Again, we discount that urban mech, it's 14. So what's my real rant here? Well, my real rant is PGI. Why in the world have you forgotten the lights? Why have you just decided we're not going to do anything with lights? Why have you decided we need all these freaking flavors of assaults and heavies and mediums, but yeah, we're fine on lights? They're just that's all you need in lights. We don't need anything more in lights. Why have you done that? You know, why are we tabling the lights in favor of yet more mech crushers? You know, didn't you learn your lesson when you threw out the freaking Kodiaks, particularly the Kodiak 3, and it just goes around what I call affectionately as the Durbear and just crushes everything in front of it? You know, that's the first point. We need more lights. We need more lights and more variety of lights. There's lots of 30 and 35 tonners in here, not so many 20 and 25 tons, but regardless of the actual tonnage, we need more lights. The second thing is, if I go to any of these other classes and somebody was coming to me as a first-time player or first time in that class, and they were asking, what would you recommend? We'll take assaults. I can go through many of these assaults and say, you know, yes, this is a good one for a first assault. The Atlas is good. The Battle Master is good. The Dire Wolf is good. Let's see, Kodiak, definitely. Just get the Kodiak 3. That's all you need. Just get that. Even the Stalker, I think, is good. The Warhawk is good. So I can go through a lot of these and recommend them. Heavies, same thing. You could go through here, especially with the rescaling. Catapults, there are definitely some competitive ones in there. Eben Jags, I think, are good. Hellbringers, Jaeger mechs, Marauders, Riflemen, Thunderbolts, Timberwolves, Warhammers, lots of options there. Even down in the mediums, I think first time player, first time medium player, Blackjack, Centurion, Cicada, Crab, Griffin, Phoenix Hawk, no, excuse me, not Phoenix Hawk, I mean Shadowhawk. I wouldn't, no, first time player, no. That'd be really frustrating, but Shadowhawk, lots of options. Come down here to lights, first time player, first time to the game. One really serious suggestion, and that's the Arctic Cheetah. If they just can't stand the idea of playing clan, then probably a spider. And if they don't want the spider because the spider suffers from lack of real loadouts, I mean, it's got some limited loadouts, but it is pretty limited. And almost anybody who seriously looks at it would agree with it. Yes, they're fast and they're maneuverable, but they're really light on the loadout. But if I weren't going to say that, then the next thing would be the Jenners. But really, honestly, I could recommend any of those other mechs I talked about in these other classes. without any misgivings to a new player. Um, but if they were really asking me, and Arctic cheetahs aren't even my favorite. Um, I haven't even finished mastering them. I like them; they're fun, but they're not my favorite. But as for a forgiving mech, for a well-equipped mech, for something with options, maneuverability, decent speed, all that kind of stuff, it had to be the Arctic cheetah. Everything else on this list requires more and more finesse and experience and skill to make successful. Um, so that's the second thing. Now not only do we only have 14 options, just to include the Irby against 1919 and 17, we only have one real mech. Now, let's look at the pricing for this versus these. Okay, so I'm recommending this Arctic cheetah, right? Which, 6-7 million C-bills and around 3,000 MC for real cash. I could buy 2 Jenners for that same amount and in the inner sphere, but yet these aren't competitive on the level with the Arctic cheetahs. They just aren't. A really good pilot in a Jenner can probably take care of Arctic cheetah. Now, granted, random number generator, all that kind of stuff, sometimes things are going to fall in your favor, the stars are going to align, whatever. So I'm not saying every time, but just all things being equal, this is the choice over this. The last part that I really wanted to touch on about why BGI really needs to get off their butt and show some love to the light is after the rescaling, they destroyed the usefulness of several of these mechs. Now, I'm going to show the positive thing they did, just to be fair. They did right by the Locust. They made it tiny. It's only 20 tons. It's fast. It doesn't have a lot of armor, and they took care of it by making it small. You're seeing it more out there on the battlefield because they did right. Now, what did they do wrong? They completely screwed the firestarter. Completely. It used to be for the lights, particularly 35 tons, 30 and 35 ton. This thing could run neck and neck with the cheetah. But now look at the size comparison. 5 tons difference. And it's a monster. I call it Gigantor now because it is. But the loadout is perfectly equipped for doing that damage. It's got 8 energy hard points. This with the ECM is only going to have 6. It's going to have 7 if you load up all the slots. But this had decent speed. It had jump jets. It had everything going for it. Now it's just Gigantor. Anything fires in its general direction and it's going to hit it. These arms just beg to be hit. They're massive. They're almost as big as a freaking locust in themselves. And yeah, the arms are large on the Arctic cheetah, but not near as large. And let's look at what we've got here. No structure quirks. In any of these variants, no structure quirks. They're as big as houses now. Across the battlefield without being targeted, a firestarter looks like a medium. And we've got no structure quirks. You don't see it because of that. I mean, yeah, some people will run it from time to time, but you used to see them a lot, and now you don't. And if you do, you don't often see them running the way they used to run, as lights being a little autonomous, and because they just can't. They can't compete at that level. And I'm not talking competitive gameplay. I'm talking about just normal battlefield stuff. I mean, if somebody's thinking about a Firestarter, they just need to go to an Arctic Cheetah. And what's sad, I could buy 3 of these. Yeah, about 3 of these for the cost of 1 of these. And that's just sad. The other thing, aside from how they screwed mechs on the rescaling, is they're not even comparable when you look at something like Inner Sphere versus Clan variant. Okay, here's the Oxide, arguably the best of the Inner Sphere generators. Look at the structure quirks, the missile cooldown, missile velocity, missile heat generation. The variant representing the Clan side, look at all those quirks. And somebody would say, well, yeah, but it's got the Clan XL, which means it can lose a torso and it can carry 6 missile points. I'm sorry, when the rubber meets the road, those quirks on the screen for the Oxide beat out whatever you're getting from the Clan XL and the additional missile hardpoint. This will beat this. All things being equal and pilot skill being equal, the Oxide is going to beat the 2C, the missile variant. I have the Origins variant of it when I bought that pack, but well, you've got jump jets and he doesn't. The Oxide is going to beat it. You know, take terrain out of it as a factor, the Oxide's going to win. It's just going to. This is not, because to get real advantage of those missile hardpoints, you're going to have to drop jump jets. You're going to have to take a much smaller engine. You're going to have to do something. And then you have to worry about your heat, which means you're going to have to put in more heat sinks. So again, this is going to beat this every time. You look at any of the Clan versions, no quirks. And that's not even my main complaint. My main complaint is the frickin' Jenner is huge now. It's a monster. I mean, let's look at the Cheetah, only 5 tons less. I mean, it looks like a locust comparatively. So, to sum it up, because I don't want to get back into a long rant, and I know this has already been long, PGI needs to produce more lights of more variety. That's number 1. Number 2, they need to go back with the rescaling and really reconsider some of the changes they made. I think they made some awful choices on some of these. Mostly good, glaringly bad, and it causes a lot of these to be hanger queens now. They need to go through and look at the quirks that they have on the mechs just as they exist to help make them a little more battlefield competitive and general gameplay competitive. They need to do that. And when you're comparing Inner Sphere version and Clan versions, it should be a closer matchup between what we have now. It just doesn't exist. It just really doesn't. I love my Clan variants. I have more of those than I do of the Inner Sphere right now. That's just personal choice because I don't play the generators that much, but I got these as part of the Origin pack and I like them. But I think the Inner Sphere generators are superior because they have so many quirks. And suddenly we throw Clan Tech on it and all the quirks just go away. This doesn't make any sense. So that's my rant. You know, if you stuck with me this long, I really appreciate it. Trust me, this is the shortest of all of the videos so far. BGI, add more lights. Stop adding freaking assaults and heavies and mediums. We don't need them. Yes, there's a lot of mechs out there. It'd be nice to see, but we don't need them. You're just doing it now for the sake of doing it to get people to buy mech packs, and it's just not working. Give us more lights. Make them a little more viable again. Do another pass on some of the rescaling you did so that we don't have gigantors and monstrosities running around the battlefield, that they actually look like lights and not mediums. And do a pass on the quirks, for God's sake. so that some of these mechs that are supposed to be doing the same duty as their inner sphere counterparts can actually do the same duty as their inner sphere counterparts. Anyway, just my opinion. I do appreciate if you've sat through it this long. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and share and subscribe. Please feel free to comment. Your questions and your feedback are, of course, greatly appreciated. If you don't agree with me on what I've said, state why in the comments. I'm happy to entertain the comments. If you do, share your discontent with PGI so that they do something about this and they just stop with the power creep and stop producing heavier and heavier mechs to just crush everything else on the battlefield. It doesn't match with lore. It limits player options. But getting off track again. But again, your comments and your questions, I really do appreciate them. And of course, as always, in all of your gaming, good luck and have fun. Bye-bye.